What's up everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be attempting to settle an important debate in the baseball world, but before I do that, comment down below what position you want me to do next. If your comment has the most likes, or more likely than that is the only comment, I will do that position. Alright, enough of this, let's get into the video. The three shortstops that we're looking into today are Francisco Lindor, Trevor Story, and Trea Turner. You may be thinking, where's Tatis? And I get it, but I wanted to talk about players who have been in the league a little bit longer. This is going to be an analytical deep dive comparing the three shortstops. Let's start off with average. Lindor has an average of 278, Trea Turner has an average of 284, while Story is the lowest average out of the group at 275. All the stats I'm going to include in this video are averages of the 2017, 18, and 19 seasons. I didn't want to include the 2020 season because it was too small of a sample size. For example, Francisco Lindor did terrible that year, but obviously he's a really good player. It should also be noted that Trevor Story's 2017 season brought down his average heavily as he only hit around 240. Despite this, it is obvious Trea Turner is the best contact hitter out of the three. Although I'm not counting out my averages, he did hit 335 in 2020, which is just incredible even in a shortened season. So yeah, point Turner. Next, let's go to one of my favorite stats, OPS+. For perspective, an average OPS+ is 100, and a god like Mike Trout had an OPS+ of 182 in 2019. OPS Plus is based on OPS, but there are other factors like what stadium they play in that is added to the stat. So the stats on the screen right now, and we can see that Lindor is just on a different level than the other two. It may look puny next to Mike Trout's, but it really is a good OPS Plus. It is also important that Mike Trout was quite literally made in the lab. Still, it's a point for Lindor. We are now going into strikeout and walk percentage. For strikeout percentage, Lindor has a 14%, Turner has a 19%, and this is where it gets a little bit sketchy. Trevor Story has struck out nearly 3 times every 10 plate appearances. Lindor gets another dub, but I think more importantly, Trevor got a massive L. I have to fact check this, but I think he may have led the NL in strikeouts one year. When it comes to walks, there are no winners in this group. I mean, really, they all have the same walk percentage between 2017 and 19 when it is rounded to the nearest full number. So yeah, let's go to the next category. Next, let's see who's the most powerful. I'll start with Trea Turner and just say that he did not win, which I'm sure was expected. He only hit an average of 16 home runs. Out of the other players, one has 32 home runs and the other has 34. Can you guess who it is? Once again, Mr. Lindor takes the cake. It's looking pretty good for him so far, that is for sure. Here is the area where you can definitely make an argument on Trea Turner's worth. I'm sure most baseball fans know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about his speed, of course, but more specifically his base stealing ability. Throughout this time, Trea Turner has an average of 42 stolen bases per year, which is incredible, while neither of the other two competitors have more than 21. There definitely have been conversations on the importance and effectiveness of base stealing, but nobody could say that literally having twice the amount of stolen bases isn't important. Alright, let's move on to the fielding segment of this video. Shortstops are the anchors of the infield, so this is incredibly important. We're going to start with defensive runs saved. The stats that I'm saying are not compiled stats, they are averages. Turner is the worst at only 1 defensive run saved. He even has had negative defensive run saved seasons. Story has a 9 DRS and Lindor wins another category with a 10 DRS. It's looking great for Lindor so far. As I said before, shortstops are defensive leaders, and one of their biggest responsibilities is their ability to turn double play. This obviously depends on their second base counterpart, but it's still an important stat to look at. Trea Turner is by far the worst in this category, with only 61 double plays turned per year. Lindor has 87 double plays turned, and Trevor Story wins this category with 94. Point Story. Next, let's look at range factor per 9. This stat calculates how much range a player has by seeing how many putouts someone gets every 9 innings. Obviously, a player that has increased range can get to more ground balls than someone with bad range. Lindor and Turner have very similar stats, as they are both slightly lower than 4. Trevor Story is ahead of the pack though because he has a 4.3 RF per 9. This may not seem like much, but throughout an 162 game season, Trevor Story would have about 80 more putouts compared to Lindor and Turner. As I was finishing up editing this, I realized I forgot to mention that Lindor also has the most home runs. He has hit 34 a year, Trevor Story has hit 32 a year, and Trea Turner isn't even close to those two. So yeah, should actually be 4-2, so Lindor wins by even more. It looks like Lindor takes the cake. Congratulations, Met fans. Obviously, that doesn't mean that Lindor is 100% the best shortstop, but it does help his case that he won the most categories. Hope you guys enjoyed the vid, and if you did, you should also check out the podcast that my friend just made. It's called Inside Baseball, and the link is going to be in the description, so go subscribe on the ground floor. Oh yeah, and sub to my channel too. See you next time.